Okay, little bit of a quiet Monday, right? We couldn't push up to new all-time highs, kind of seesaw action. Everyone waiting on the CPI. Are we just gonna meander where we're at? Are we gonna get a really hot number, really cold number? We'll find that out at 8:35. We'll talk with Blue Putnam about that. We got some earnings, we got some significant rating changes, and we got some stocks with some catalyst. It's pre-market prep on a Tuesday.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. This is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
All right, good morning, traders and investors. It's just caught flat. A little bit of a break yesterday, rally after into the close, and we're stuck right here, 6,400. The buck up 6 cents, no big deal on the buck. TLT down 22 cents ahead of the CPI number, trying to get back up to the recent high of the move. Crude, another move lower. USO down 54 cents, 73.26. GLD gets hit on the gold tariffs. Well, they're removed and it's not really popping back up. We'll talk about that. Up 21 cents, 308.76. SLV steady at 34.40. That's up 22 cents. And Bitcoin, big boost yesterday. Giving back a little bit more today. Down $555, 118,900. Full crew today, folks. Full crew today. Brentster lurking in the background. How was the weekend? How was the weekend? We got to ask you on a Monday. How was the weekend?
Weekend was awesome. Had a nice little quick trip to Chicago, but glad to be home, glad to be back in Detroit, and glad to be with Pre-Market Prep and the Stock Trader Network and you guys. I missed you guys. I always miss you guys. I love my ways, love my days away, but I do miss you guys.
Joel did a pretty good job, though, on the closing show. He was all over it. He was breaking news, digging in there. I was like, dig, Joel, dig harder. Find me the news.
I got to do another.
What's being said about Intel right now. I need it right now. He's good.
No,
good job, Joel.
No, those are like
we can't replace the Brentster.
They're size 16 shoes to fill there, And but I will say it was nice when we started the show yesterday, and I'm doing my shtick at the beginning. I didn't hear we're not on YouTube. Wait, we're not live. I didn't hear that. So we got through the hiccups on that. Brentster, I need another news lesson. Maybe I'll go back and listen to your video, or the talk that you gave in the STN room. Cool. So that's it. So that's it. All right. Oh, man, I don't know where to start, Dennis.
I might as well start with
Trump. Know where you want to start.
Let's just start with Trump. Everything is about Trump. It's going to be about the CPI in 27 minutes, but in the next 27 minutes, it's about Trump. He moves stocks. He moved AMD and NVIDIA. He moved the entire pot sector yesterday. It was flying. He's moving Intel today. It is moving up here too, which was one of the most obvious trades that you could have done. We did it in the STN room. Let's just go back to the pot stocks first, then we'll get into Intel here. So we'll show the charts here, Joe. We'll bring up your screen.
What's your
favorite?
Many
pot stocks moving yesterday, talking about making, marijuana, deregulating. And the pot stocks just, which have been just in the gutter for the most part, really rallied yesterday. MSOS obviously owns a bunch of them. From 350 up to 485. So you're talking about a good 35% move here in a day and a little bit here. They're all up again this morning. Tilray up another 14% this morning after being up like 25% yesterday. TLRY, that one is. Aurora Cannabis, ACB popping. You've got CGC, another one. It's went from $1.10 2 days ago to $1.77. So big pops here too. The pot stocks are having their day. I mean, the memesters get them. Oh, let's squeeze some shorts, kind of come in. So it was, kind of predictable that there was going to be a little bit of continuation. Usually it lasts a few days. I don't know if it's got more gas than that or not. Maybe these were just rumors too, folks. There wasn't any, thing happening. So maybe if he announces something official, maybe they get another lift from that too. But they've been in the gutter. They're moving back here a little bit. I mean, long term, yes, person who bought CGC at $500, if the move from $1 to $1.58 excites them, it probably doesn't. But, they had their day, so we got to give them a little bit of love. Anything strike your fancy in Chartland?
Well, a couple things. One, I want to give a shout out to Rustical, a listener here. I don't know if he's present today. I think he might be out on the West Coast. He's been talking to me for a while about these stocks and the reclassification. So I hope he's stuck with his thesis on that. I'm just going to go with the MSOS just because it's really a higher price stock of all these stocks.
For the $4 one.
Yeah.
The higher priced one is the $4 one.
Yep. And the liquidity. We talked about this in the STN room. And sometimes you like to, stuff is up a lot. You like to fade. And then stuff that, that's down a lot, you like to buy. But we talked about this one. And I'm just like, no, this is, it's the first day of the move. And a lot of people are going to wake up today that don't, follow the markets and closely and say, wow, oh, they're hot. They're back. I got to get in it. So, you're having to follow through this morning. $5. We know what a key level that was. What was the start that got the 5 and then just puked? Was it open door?
Yeah. Yeah, Open got a little bit of love. I actually did buy a little bit Open there last night here, just playing it a little bit, showing a little bit of love here again. But
happens at $5, gets marginal over 5, right?
They struggle at 5. So, write this one down. When stock goes $1 to 4 to almost 5, 5 is always a challenge. 5 is where securities become marginable in most brokerage accounts. 5 is just a natural resistance point. It also can be a support point. It's just a huge number. Lots of optionality happens at 5 on many stocks. So 5 is always big. And, when Open got up there to the 497, that's just a huge number here. So think about that with some of your cannabis stocks here too, as they pound up here, and get going. $5 just is often a big level to try to get through. So keep that in mind if you're trading. MJ also, Joel, I guess they're correct. Is the highest priced one here. If you want to trade the $30 ones, it's moving here, $32.70. It's up another 7% here today. So big moves here. Give stocks their love for a day.
You're not going to be trading this.
No, probably not.
It traded. It had almost 7 times its volume yesterday, and that was 382,000. It hasn't gone over. It barely goes over 100,000. So keep, always with these things too, to look for a turn. I look for a turn in the volume, right? You got the buyers the first day. All the buyers are happy. You get buyers the second day. And then people that bought on the first day are like, oh, I'm selling to you. So a lot of times, if the volume just keeps pumping to the upside, you're in good shape. So we'll keep an eye on the volume. Big bump up yesterday, 57 million. I know we don't cover volume a ton, but we'll see. We'll see how much legs this rally has.
So Intel also getting the Trump bump here last night. Multiple things. We knew the meeting was happening. Intel was lifting during the day because of that. Did fade at the close, which made for a nice setup there to buy the close, which we did. I also put it on for a swing trade here. I'll tell you my thought process here. One is you always want to be on Trump's good side. And when he goes and meets, when you get the CEO going to the White House to meet, Trump's usually tough. And then, he's always tough, but then he's kind of nice too when you go and meet him. He likes it going, meeting him, kissing his butt a little bit. He likes that. So he said, and I don't know if I have the actual quotes. Maybe we could go get it. But he was truthing last night. We always
I saw it too.
Yeah, it was commentary, and I don't have it in front of me here. But
it was like we had a good meeting.
Interesting, I think, was the word.
We're interesting. Okay.
I have it actually. I met with Lip Bhutan of Intel along with Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick and Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent. Meeting was very interesting one. Amazing. His success and rise is an amazing story. And then he also went on to say that he's going to bring me some proposals basically in the next few days. So probably a deal, I would imagine. This is why, I've sold the overnight trade, which I always sell too early.
18 seconds too early.
The swing, but the swing trade, I still have. And my thought process here is, I think, he's met here. Trump loves deals. I think they'll make a deal with Intel. I think they'll make something, it's like, oh, Intel, we're going to make this the best, company in the US here. I can just foresee something like that happening. I don't think it's going to happen today. I don't think it's going to happen tomorrow, because he did say the CEO is going to bring him, some information the next couple of days. So that pushes us probably into the next week to get a deal. But, you don't know the timing of this. You don't know what else is going to be said. So I think my prediction in the next week or two, you probably get a 10% pop in Intel on the announcement of a deal. Not maybe as much as Apple, because Apple is crazy, but I do think there's a potential, and it's been beaten up. So I think other traders are anticipating the same thing here now, which is why, it's up there at 21.42 and trading up here this morning. So do they chase it? Does it fizzle out? I think on a fizzle out, I'd actually add to it.
The question remains, can Intel actually make a chip that's somewhat comparable to NVIDIA or AMD? I mean, isn't that the problem?
They're moved on to different things. So no, we're not going to put this in the NVIDIA and AMD category whatsoever. They've lost that race.
Yes.
They're out doing different things. None of that matters.
It doesn't matter.
Swing trading.
Nope.
None of that matters for a potential deal. So am I putting all my money long-term in Intel here? No. Do I think that has the potential to get a pop on a deal announcement maybe next week? Yes. So this is why, I'm looking at it and people say, well, where's your stop? Where's your thing? It's a timing trade. If all of a sudden it comes out and it doesn't look like there's going to be any deal announcement, then I'll get out of it. I'm not one of those traders that says, oh, I look at a chart and okay, here's my target. Here is, I'm going to buy it here. I'm going to put my stop here. I'm going to put my target here. I've never done one of those trades ever. And if I tried it, well, I have probably, but if I try to do those trades, I'll probably lose. I'm more of a catalyst trader. This is what I am. I'm catalyst driven trader, headline anticipation. This one sets up pretty well for headline anticipation. Sets up pretty well, thinking there's probably going to be something announced with Trump in the next week or two. I'm giving it. I don't think it's going to be like a month from now. So I think in the next couple of weeks, I think we get something. So that's my thoughts on Intel.
Aklo. Yeah. I think that was
looking at the chart. Joel's moving us on. Okay, Allo, I agree to move on here at this moment in time. Aklo all over the place. Reported earnings last night. It was the most interesting report of last night. Not that it was interesting. Lost 18 cents, supposed to lose 12 cents. They're doing some deal with Lightbridge and strategic collaboration. I don't know who the hell Lightbridge is. I don't know, follow the story close enough on any of this stuff. But the stock was chopping around a whole lot last night on the earnings. Chopped down, chopped up, kind of just hanging out here now. Remember, it can move the other stocks in the sector. The SMR and the NNE like to follow Aklo as well. But, I mean, it's come a long ways. We had a pretty big bar. The earnings weren't great. They don't even have any revenue, I don't think. And they're trying to do a deal. So who knows? But right now, when we're looking at the Aklo chart, it's telling me, it's tired. We've had a hell of a run. We were $18 back in April, and we got up to $85. What more do you want? You got like 5 years of gains in 3 months. So, I mean, if you think this is going to 150, 200, who knows? It could. But also, you could see it fizzle out here, too. I think some of these momentum stocks are just getting a little bit tired. And deservingly so. They've had incredible runs.
Yeah, they were supposed to lose 12 cents. They lost 18 cents. And you could search for their revenue, but there isn't any. Street leaning the right way into the report. Look at their 3 days of pretty consistent selling. So after you got that initial dip to 66.44, it almost came back to scratch, but couldn't get back to scratch. But you do have a level coming in play. Can we get above the low one to close? 71.31, 71.86. I won't call it dead if it can clear that level. Establish a 72 bid. There's a look at Aklo, SMI real quick. Anything jump out to me? No. Losing the 50-day moving average. And then what was the other one you mentioned?
NNE is another one that trades. They all look tired to me. Don't they look tired?
Do. It's tired.
I just ran a marathon. Need a breather. Catch my breath. This is catch my breath time for all these stocks. Is the story over? No, it's just cooling off a little bit. It could be over. I mean, they've had a lot of runs. So, when they cool off and catch their breath, you don't know if they're going to run another marathon or not. They might just take a pause and say, hey, I'm going to just take this one out for a bit. So I think it's breathtaking time for those nuclear names.
Okay.
Also reporting last night, lots of stocks reporting. This week is full of a lot of little retail darling names. But, for the most part here, it's not a lot of like headliners. You know, Cisco on Wednesday is probably one of the big headliners there. We do have Applied Materials, Deere, but you know, there's little stocks like, you know, and even on. There's a storied stock loved by retail. We talked about, you know, growth and the growth not being able to, if it slowed, it was going to be in trouble. Well, it did not slow. You know, the story continues here. The stock has pulled back, you know, significantly ahead of the earnings report. And they actually, sales were really good. Still lose money here. I don't know what it was supposed to make 19 cents, so maybe there's some adjustments here, but the sales blew it away. 906 million versus 850 million. So it's a big beat on the sales. 2025 revenue supposed to be right in line there too. Nothing fantastic in this report, but I mean, I guess it was leaking down in the report, so I guess good enough is good enough. It still has a high valuation. I'm not chasing this. I do think eventually it'll have its Lululemon moment. Who knows when that is? It could be a year from now or not, but it's hard to buy stocks, retail stocks that have 50 multiples unless it's Costco.
Do you want a 5-star level?
Yeah.
52.
I like 5-star hotels and 5-star levels.
Okay. 5. Oh, and also I know you love 5-star restaurants when you don't go to McDonald's.
I'm not as much into 5-star restaurants.
Because you're too cheap.
That's right. Correct.
Okay.
On the restaurant front.
The reason it's a 5-star is halfway back of the break is around 52.50.
Okay.
The 50-day moving average is 52.53. And your pre-market high is 52.69.
All the ducks are in a row. 52.5. It's Joel's.
Done.
5-star
Next.
number. Done.
Next.
That's your number. Write that down, and that's the number that matters. I like it when he gives me one number. I like it when he's convicted on one number. I like it when he gives me 3 reasons for one number, not 3 numbers for one reason. The other way, I like one number for 3 reasons. So
okay, I'll write that down.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the on. Let's move on from that one. Pink Pony Club reported there too, PONY, or did it report? It was due to report. I'm not moving much. Did it report yet? Pink Pony Club? Oh, yes, it did. Pony reported this morning at 5 a.m. Holy, they report early. This Pink Pony Club gets up early, those people. Lost 13 cents, up from loss of 91 cents, 21.5 million versus 12.2 million. Yes, million. This is small revenue company here. Pony AI, which, you know, they throw the AI in there because why not? Just been a consolidation station for a bit. It was a retail darling back in April, went from $5 to $20. And again, consolidation station here. Trying to find a way, trying to find a reason to rally here more. I'm not sure Pony Club continues here or not, but Pony AI hanging out at 15. Sounds like a number 2. 15.
Yeah, this
one number. Why? Because it's trading.
I got to give you 2 on this one because it's been in a trading range for 3 days in a row of about $1. So we'll call it 14.25 to 15.25. Pick your poison. Gets above 15.25 or breaks below 14.25. But not a lot of movement. Very quiet. I'm not even going to go over the pre-market levels because this is consolidation station in Pony AI.
Just so many. Circle. We got to go to Circle. They all want to talk Circle. Circle's up $13 here this morning. CRCL, the darling of the IPOs for 2025, reported earnings at 6:30 this morning. They lost 43 cents, supposed to lose 46. I guess that's a beat. Sales were good, really good. 658 million versus 540 million. So kind of blew it away. That's pretty much it. I don't know if they've had the conference call. Oh, yes, they have. They had the conference call. Says Genius Act will drive much broader use of stable coins in payments. So it's just stable coin word out there too. That gets the algos all antsy in their pantsy. And the stock is trading up 8% here this morning. Circle CRCL. Give me one number, Joel. One number and one number only.
You're going to hate it.
I'm going to hate the number.
It's so far away from it. 182.
Oh, it's too far.
Well, you said 200. I'm giving you 182.
He's giving you closer. Joel doesn't get that far. 200. What are you talking about? We weren't talking 2 weeks ago. We're not talking 2 weeks from now. We're talking today. Not talking good. 182. I'll take your number. Why 182?
Classic 50% retracement of the entire move, and it really held it off the hop. On the first breakdown, it held it like a champ. It rallied back. It came back to it. Then it hung out there just a little bit too long. broke down, and now you're coming back up to it. So I'm not going to call the pre-market high. I'm not going to call anything. I'm just saying, if this stock, whatever time frame you want to use, if it doesn't get back over 182 and have a sustained 182 bid, the path of least resistance is lower.
SE. There's so many like middling names now here, so we can go wherever you want. So chat, we got 10 minutes for the CPI. If there's a specific stock that reported earnings that you just need to talk about, let us know here. I am going to go to CADS because some people trade this thing, and it is a big mover here this morning. It is trading up SE 11% here, getting its mojo back. I mean, the mojo was gone out of C for a long time. Remember like 2 years ago? This was like my best stock of the year. I kept trading this thing, and I was like, I just buy this thing at the close and sell at the open every day and make $5 every day. I think that was like 2023, 2024. It was just running and running and running and running. Nobody would have thought it was C limited. I was like, I think this goes up every day.
It was
so
24.
I'm like, I just buy the close, sell the open, buy the close, sell the open. And mojo's starting to come back. Maybe I should start trading this thing again, because I have not traded much here. But the mojo is suddenly back here after the earnings report here. SE trying to bring it up. It is a miss, actually. It's always fun when you see things trading up on a miss. 65 cents versus 74. Sales are good, 5.25 million versus 4.98 million. Maybe there was some adjustments in there on the earnings here. I'm trying to look at another source, see if then. No, I got the 12-cent miss on the earnings. I guess they don't give a crap, so they're just like, no, we're buying it anyways. Algos get going. They say the revenue's good enough. Let's go. SE up significantly on an earnings miss.
I like to see it get next daily high 165.58. But Dennis, got a question for you. Okay, so here's the monthly, and it was definitely in COVID. It was definitely in 20, and then it got a little dicey in 21, but continued the rest of 21. How many times do you start to get smoked when it started to make the turn that you lay off the strategy? Because you did the Berkshire Hathaway, remember? You were buying them every day, no matter
twice.
what.
The answer is twice. Once forgiven, twice. Yes, once I get burned on it twice, I back off. So I mean,
twice in a row?
Once bitten, twice shy. Yeah, usually 2 times in a row. So Berk.B we were doing earlier in the year, and I was like, I just buy Berk on the close and sell it on the open every day, and it goes up every day. It went up like 21 out of 22 days. You can identify those trends ahead of time. You make money, man. You make a lot of money, but you continue to do it until it doesn't work anymore. And usually when I get burned 2 days in a row, then I'm like, okay, now I back down. That's usually how I approach these things. Now, SE, I don't know. I can't remember back to 2024 because I have the goldfish memory. So, that's well past 6 seconds ago. But I just know I did really well on that. And if you look in 2024, the stock went from $37 and then closed the year as over 100. So there was a lot of like dip buying that worked very well in that stock. Is it building up to continue and come back? Are we going to get back to where we were back in 2021 when the stock was trading up $372? Lots of stocks are never so spoiler alert, lots of stocks are never getting back to where they got to in 2021. I know everybody's sitting here and waiting for their pod stock CGC to get back to $500 a share. It's $1.76. I can safely say that Canopy Growth will never, ever, 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 ever,
you tell me never
ever be $500 again.
You yell
That's
at me when I say that.
100% certainty here. Nothing's 100%. I'm 100% certain CGC is never going back to $500 again. I am not 100% certain that SC won't see $370 again. It's 162. It only has to double. It doesn't have to go up 5 billion% to get there. So SE, bottom line is I like better than CGC. That was a lot of words to say nothing.
I know.
Gibberish.
It was my fault because I asked the question, and I see you got I see you made a note here, and I guess I didn't get that. The Pink Pony Club, those people get up early. Like
nobody got it. Nobody got the joke.
Except Brent.
Mitch is telling me it's in China, but I was like, that was a joke. Because, the Pink Pony Club, it's a gentleman's club. Anyways, nobody caught it. Brett caught it. He laughed in the background. So, okay, moving on. We can't, if you have to explain your joke, it wasn't a very good joke. BBAI, the darling. The Big Bear AI, you got Big Bear, then you add AI and stock goes up. Yes, we're in 2025. That's how it works. Well, the Big Bear AI did not do very good. The Bears took over the Big Bear AI. The earnings were an epic disaster. They lost 71 cents. We're supposed to only lose 6 cents. The sales missed. Can't miss sales. 32 million versus 41 million. They're lowering guidance substantially, like epically. Guidance was way up at 167 million for 2025. They said we'll be 125 to 140. So it pumped up. The Big Bear.ai pumped up the shares, but obviously didn't pump up the consumer. They're not that excited about Big Bear AI. It's down 32% here today. When they lower guidance, usually the story ends quickly. I am done for a while with Big Bear AI.
No, you're not. No, you're not. What?
Oh yeah, I might do dead cat bounce trade.
Yes, yeah,
you're
DCB.
right. I do the dead cat bounce trade every once in a while, which worked well on Monday last night again. Yes, I'm the only person in the whole world who bought the close on MNDY, and actually, bang, you're up 2%.
And you rushed out of it.
I rush out of everything too fast, Joel. I'm the best at entering and the worst at exiting. I honestly think that. I think I'm one of the best traders at entering a position and the absolute worst at getting out. That's stupid scalper blood. Talking to my buddy, and you know what it is? We played market maker too long. You know, I'm with all you market maker guys when I joined break trading, all you floor traders, scalpers, market makers, and you got this scalper blood in me, and I just can't get it out. What I need to do is go take a pin, prick my finger, squeeze some of that scalper blood out of me. JV in the chat's yelling at me for it all the time. So I sit here and I just have too much scalper blood. Lose the scalper blood.
Well, this is why the people in the STN room like it so much, is because when you talk about something on the close and you do it, like you buy it, when you sell it, they buy more.
Yeah, I know, and then they make money from me. Yeah, they do. They're good. That's STN room. They hold so much better than me. I tell JV, I'm like, I've got to like just listen to JV and just hold on, like, because he like I'll tell you when to get in, JV. He tells me when to get out because he holds on fantastically. We got Blue Putnam in the background. I want to bring Blue in right now because we're getting ready in 3 minutes for the CPI. So let's go grab Blue.
Blue Putnam, chief economist of the Pre-Market Prep Show.
How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing good. Actually, it's a really good call by Dennis here to bring you in early, because you just sent us just tremendous notes here to take a look at for ahead of the CPI.
No, those notes are for after the CPI.
They're for after.
Yeah, there you go.
You're fired.
We got 2 minutes here, and it's going to be hot at the press. And how can we do better than having Blue here to take you through the numbers, talk about what we see? Are we going to see any tariff inflation in here? It's way too early.
I don't think we're going to see much. We know a couple of things about tariffs. We know that companies are absorbing more than we thought they would. And that's because we kind of understand that they don't want to lose market share. They don't really know what the final tariffs are going to be. There's still a lot of uncertainty. So they want to be careful with their client base. And then they know their client base is weakening. I mean, the data on the economy is it's slowing down. And so it's not the greatest time to push the button if your competitors don't on raising prices. So, and the other thing to remember, we're 2/3 a service economy. Tariffs mainly hit goods. So they're only hitting 1/3 of the CPI. And then, of course, that's the part
Great point.
they're hitting. So I don't think we're going to see too much on tariffs. But, it stopped the momentum of inflation going down, just not surging back up.
I mean, if you go with the word on the street and you go to the grocery, I mean, things aren't coming down. I mean, if anything, I think prices are still going up. I mean, I went to Potbelly's or something. I did get the special, and I don't know, maybe I ordered too much, but it was like $15, $16. I'm like, what the hell happened here? I went to the drugstore the other day and bought a soda. It was like $3.10. I remember when they used to be a quarter here. So just the eyeball test is certainly inflation's not coming down.
Yeah, well, the eyeball approach doesn't do it the same way economists do. Economists only look back 12 months. We have very short memories. A little longer than a goldfish, but not that much. Whereas you're thinking, you're remembering back in a different kind of time frame. And so it does seem like when prices go up, they stay up, that's for sure. And it gives you that sense that inflation is sticky. And by the way, 3% inflation is sticky, but not 9%. That, back in 2022.
Stocks moving higher here. We have CPI month over month right in line, up 0.2%. The core reading year month over month up 0.3%, right in line. Our year over year reading on the core figure was a little higher than expected, 3.1% year over year gain. Economists were looking for a 3% increase there. We have futures moving about 20 points higher on the CPI data.
Yeah, nothing there to change the overall story. Inflation is stuck at 3.
Yeah. I mean, we would much like us to see it closer to 2.5, but it's not. Taking a look at the S&Ps are ripping. They're ripping I'll do a quick rundown, ripping right back to the highs of yesterday's session. So we are keeping an eye on 3150. That's the high. That's where you found resistance a couple times last week. And we'll see what happens. Today definitely catalyst, different news moving the market here today. So now we can go. Now we got the report. Consensus was 2.5 to 3. So what implications are here? There's other things, right, that we have to worry about. What about the weakening labor market?
Oh, you definitely have to worry about that. I mean, those job revisions were they were impressive. But if you look at all the revisions and then go back, look at the pattern, we really have had a deterioration in the U.S. job market in terms of payroll, net new payroll since February. So it's not a 1-month number anymore. It's a 6 or 7 month number, and it's showing a decided trend toward weakening. And that's exactly the kind of data-dependent data that the Fed's been talking about that it needed to see. So if you couple that with 3% is a benign inflation number as long as it's not going up. So the Fed definitely has room to cut, and I think the futures markets are telling you that's what's going to happen.
How much of those job losses were, self-inflicted, right? I mean, look what went on in Washington, right? With all the job cuts, we've seen it by some major companies. So, really, it shouldn't be that much of a surprise. I mean, a lot of people are out of their jobs in DC and related agencies. So, we'll take a look at the Fed funds tool just here in a second. So based on this report, hit resistance again, folks. I mean, they'd hit that area. We're backing off again. Would have been nice to get to 64.3150. So I did look at the Fed funds tool before. Brent's telling me it does an update for 10 to 11 minutes. So is this green light go for the Fed, you think, in mid-September?
Yeah, this is green light. The green light came with the labor market report. And because Powell has been very, very clear that if the economy appears to be weakening, then that would confirm that they can cut as long as inflation's not getting out of control. It's not. So, they're ready to do it. And Fed funds are a nice cushion above 3% inflation. So they got room to cut. They've had room to cut.
But does that mean you need to cut just because you have room to cut? I mean,
that's a nice question. The Fed's probably the best place it could be would be something like neutral, where it doesn't hurt the economy or help the economy. And so there's a huge debate about what neutral is, and for sure we don't know. But it's probably 0.5 to 1% above the prevailing inflation rate. And does the Fed really need to cut? Will it do a lot of damage if it doesn't? Not particularly, because the economy's not as interest rate sensitive as it used to be, and a quarter point's not that big. But if they cut 3 times, which is what I think they might do between now and the end of the year, then that starts to add up, and that helps. So I think the Fed, it's definitely tilting toward cutting now.
Wait, 3 times? So if they go in mid-September,
September, Halloween, and Christmas.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I don't know. Just with that, who knows where the market's going to be at that time, but with the market trading at all time, I don't know. Well, we'll have to see what happens. We got the number.
Luke, do you think the politics play any role here? Like that Powell's not going to be told what to do? Do you think like it actually works against Trump that he keeps saying he better, be cutting soon, and threatening his job and doing all this? Do you think that makes, and obviously Powell, isn't like controlling the whole board, but when you're the Fed chair, you got to have a pretty big voice in there. Do you think that plays a role here at all? That maybe some Fed, just even some of the other people on the board might just be saying, we're not going to let Trump tell us what to do.
I'm sure they're talking like that behind the scenes a lot, but the Federal Reserve has a very, very strong culture of trying to have a constructive debate and do what they think the data is telling them to do. And up until that jobs report, the data wasn't totally clear. It was, clear enough for some people like me that they could have cut, but not other people. But what does the political pressure do? It makes Jay Powell's press conferences way, way harder. They got 2 dissenting votes in the last FOMC meeting. Both of those people would like to be the next Fed chair, so they were like casting their vote. I don't fault them for that, but so politics are clearly involved, but I don't think that's going to be what the decision is. In fact, the labor market report and those revisions that showed weakening, and we haven't had that many jobs in the last 3 months, that gave Powell his way out. I mean, that was like, okay, now I've got data, I can do it. And so that's where I'm headed, and that's where the market went in Fed funds futures like a nanosecond after that labor market report.
Yeah.
You didn't have, everybody got the email that, okay, we've got the data now, they can go. But politics are big on a number of other ways. Jay Powell, when his term is up as Fed chair, that's May of 2026. He doesn't have to leave the Fed. He could stay on as governor.
Yep, we talked about
that would deny President Trump another appointment on the board. And it also, the last time a Fed chair one time a Fed chair stayed on in 1948, Marin Eccles, that was to fight for Fed independence. So we have the same thing going on. The other thing that's a not very well-known fact, the chairman of the Federal Reserve is not automatically the chairman of the FOMC committee. The FOMC is a broader group, including, some regional Fed bank presidents, and they actually get to elect their own chairman for that committee. And they always choose the Fed chair unless they don't want to. And I can't remember any time they haven't, but they have that power. So if they got an unusual Fed chair that was really dividing them politically, we would have a very, very different Fed. And we just normally, Fed culture doesn't like being that divided. So we'll see. But they have a lot of ways to counter the politics.
Yeah, there's several. Great mention of those. Let's talk a little bit about the job data revisions and the Fed and what they're looking at. I mean, if they're so off in one direction, right? 1 month, can't it be off in the other direction the next month if they're that unreliable?
Well, they're probably not random numbers. In the sense that when the economy shifts gears from, like, say, recovering from the pandemic, we had all that job growth, and then now we have jobs slowing down. We have people getting laid off from the federal government, things like that. The models that they use to estimate some of the numbers tend to make a series of mistakes in the same direction. You see this when you have recessions and recoveries. One of the things that they have to estimate is how many small companies get created and how many small companies die. They call it the birth-death ratio. But that is very, very hard to do at economic turning points. So when you have a sequence of errors in the same direction, it does reinforce that you're in a turning point.
Okay, Brentster is, I don't know if you want to show it or not. The odds before showed 82% chance of a rate cut in September
To 93.
and 93 for October. So they were already pretty high. So they were probably even higher now. Just continuing on with the Fed talk here. Kugler out,
Yeah.
Moran in. Does that change the probability for rate cuts?
No, it really doesn't, but it does change the debate inside the Fed. I mean, Kugler wasn't all that strong a board member, okay, and she's decided to move on. Her term was going to end in January anyway. Miran, on the other hand, is decidedly going to vote for lower rates. There's like no question about that. At least I don't think there is. But, you know, he's an economist. And he's only temporary, which is really kind of strange. So I think President Trump put him in there just to vote for interest rate cuts so they'd have a dissenting vote if for any reason the Fed didn't want to cut. But now the data says they can cut.
Okay. All right. The market is loving this number, soft number. We talked about it. Yeah. When's the tariff impact going to hit? When's the tariff impact going to hit? And doesn't seem to hit yet here. So, Blue, one last thing here. Brent's throwing in the nasty R word. Is that recession? Is that we still a ways away from that? And by doing these preemptive rate cuts, we'll be able to head that off at the pass?
No, I mean, let me start. I don't think the rate cuts will make too much difference. They'll help a little bit, maybe avoid it, but only a little bit. Are we headed for a recession? We're definitely slowing down. Whether it's a recession or not is really a close call. Recessions are much, much deeper when you have a financial crisis. We do not have that. Our banks are fine. Our financial system is fine. Nothing like 2008, nothing like 1990. We're in great shape on those places. So if we have a recession, it'll probably be fairly mild. But we know companies aren't investing as much because the outlook isn't as clear. We know consumers are being very, very cautious. So that's definitely slowdown material. Whether it actually shows up as a recession, 50-50 call for me. It's very close.
Okay. All right. I believe the Brentster has that updated Fed tool. He's going to bring that up for us. And we are going to take a look at it. There was already pretty high. And we can see how much it is.
One sec. So let me just pull down your chart real quick, and we'll have it up in a sec.
Okay.
So here we go. So this is for the September rate cut, showing 90% now.
Yeah, and that's pretty much and the Fed does not like to surprise. So if they don't like that rate cut talk, you're going to get a ton of speeches about it, but I think they're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
What about going out to October and December? Let's look there too.
Here is your October. Almost, and you can certainly going to cut.
Yeah, that's a pretty good move for October too, saying for 2 cuts.
And then December.
Here's your December.
And
so basically, there's no chance they don't cut this year now. It's 99.6% chance that we're getting at least one.
Yep.
Oh, well, you get the one, and then if you get one, the Fed doesn't like to do one, okay? They're not a one and done kind of guy. If they do one, they probably are comfortable with at least 2 and maybe 3. If they to go more than 3, you'd be talking in the next year, and you would be talking about actually seeing evidence of a real recession. So I'm in the 3 camp, but 2 is just fine too. It's but definitely if they do 1, they're going to do more.
Blue, would they just start with like a little toe dip in and just do like a 25 basis cut first, And then
Oh, yeah, they
see where
only
go
do
after
cuts
that,
bigger than 25 when there's a panic reason.
like emergency. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean they do take the elevator down when there's a panic, but these numbers are not panic mode. These are drifting numbers.
Yep.
Okay, Blue Putnam, former chief economist at the CME, current chief economist of PreMarket Prep and the Stock Trader Network. Blue, check is in the mail.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks,
That
bro.
was fun. All right, Blue Putnam joining us here to take us through that number. I actually I took my eye off on it. I didn't get to do much of just straight up, just absolutely straight up here. Through last week's high, through Friday's high. So if the Bulls maintain,
They grabbed it. I mean, let's be honest. Just call it at what it is. They're looking for reasons to buy stocks. They are. And if you look here and you have your SPY blinders on, you're like, it's a nice little rally. Take the SPY blinders off and start looking at the broad market. We are ripping on the IWM. We're ripping on interest rate sensitive names. We're ripping on everything except the TLT. Yes, except the TLT. And that is a concern. And that is a red flag. Because normally when you think, oh yeah, rate cuts are coming, TLT would be a rallying, not seeing that here today. So that's a red flag if you're chasing this IWM rally here this morning. Because they're buying them. They're buying the stocks. They're like, oh, we love it when the CPI is light. We're going to continue to buy them. But your lie detector test is telling us that the IWM rally may just fade. Full disclosure, I am short IWM. TLT trading down here. I don't know. That's concerning to me. The TLT not rallying in this is concerning to me.
Is it just because it's all about the short end now? And 20-year and 30-year, people just, who cares? It's all about now and the shorter end of the curve.
There's something else going on with the TLT. And I think it's a little bit to do with the international investor, that they're lukewarm to buying U.S. treasuries here right now. Maybe it's like making a stand. Maybe it's for what other reasons. But I mean, when you can clearly see that interest rates cuts are coming, the TLT is not rallying. There's something else happening here. So we'll find out what it is eventually. But right now, there's other forces weighing down the TLT, which is, interesting because normally just moving off interest rates. But there's so many other things happening here with tariffs and the international investor. The U.S. dollar, we've talked about this lots of times, has been very weak. What's the dollar doing on this, Joel? Can we bring that up?
Flattish.
A little bit down.
Yeah.
So usually when interest rates are going up, obviously, or down, sorry, that's going to be bad, obviously, for US dollars. So that makes sense. But TLT being down is my concern here. TLT should be rallying if we're getting interest rate cuts coming. And it's not. So keep that in mind. That's not saying interest rate cuts aren't coming. It's saying there's other forces holding the TLT down because naturally the arbitrage here is to buy the TLT here as lower rates are coming, which makes the current yield on your TLT more attractive. So same thing with staples. You'd think that they would be getting a pop. They're not really here. So market is actually in certain stocks lukewarm to this. But, other stocks we're going to rip higher on this. I mean, think of all your interest rate sensitive names. We've talked about biotech. We've talked about retail names that need interest rate cuts. Solar names, probably, or will, like this number here because they need interest rate cuts here as well. So I'd keep an eye on, a lot of those, stocks there where a lot more interest rate sensitive.
A couple good points in the chat. One is the TLT story is about Bitcoin, right? I mean, why be in the TLT when you can be in Bitcoin, and also you can be levered up.
Well, there's a point there. I mean, maybe they're just done with treasuries and starting to buy crypto. I mean, there is a little bit of pressure. I don't think those pressures are enough, though. Like, it's not like we're seeing crypto explode, and Bitcoin, it's going up. But I again, think about the size of the treasury market compared to the size of the Bitcoin market. Like, is the Bitcoiners really holding down treasuries here? I don't think so. I don't think there's enough size there to do it. I mean, some pure market caps and looking at that, there's trillions of dollars, and then you're starting to look at, what's the market cap of Bitcoin? I don't even know where it is now. What is it? I don't even know. Market cap Bitcoin. Let's go find that out. Market cap Bitcoin quickly. Oh, it's getting up there too. Is it worth 2 trillion? Is that right? Holy crap. Okay, maybe it is. Maybe there is an argument here. Is that right? That's the entire crypto world. Joel, you're silent here. I don't know.
I don't know because I'm just trying to put those numbers in perspective, and then I think about the limited amount of Bitcoin that's out there, right? Isn't there only supposed to be
$1 trillion? I'm seeing 2 trillion. Man, you know what? Yeah, there could be some forces on that. I did not realize the market cap had gotten that high on Bitcoin.
All right, let's there's insider buys and then there's insider buys, and we had a doozy yesterday in a stock that's been in the gutter, and that's Shift4 Payments, and there was a huge insider buying the dip. We talked about this last night. Getting a nice lift in 4, so we'll see if we can get some follow through. But I believe we talked about it was a couple 100,000 shares, maybe like close to a $20 million purchase. So a stock getting a vote of confidence with a big insider buy.
Yeah, and this is what happens. When stocks get really beat up, eventually insiders come in, and there was a huge buy. By the one director bought like 182,000 shares. So it was like a $17 million, 196,000. So I think it's $17 million purchase. This is the director, executive chairman, Jared Isaacman. So it's getting the vote of confidence here today. A lot of times you see the stock get the little pop on the vote of confidence. Is it going to turn the story around here? I don't know. Momentum is broken here, so it's hard to chase. Like a lot of times you see insider buys, and they do pop. The algos all pop them, but sometimes they're more selling opportunities than buying opportunities. So I don't think I'm all that excited about the FOUR. I think it should be up a couple of percent. 5% feels like a little bit overdone to me. IONQ also, we had multiple offerings here today, and we should talk about that. BMNR came out with an offering. And I mean, these stocks have so much bloody momentum that offerings don't even knock them down. But, we had BitMine, Immersion Technologies coming out with an offering here this morning up to 20 billion. Is that right?
Yeah.
Brent?
Yeah.
20 billion with a B? Okay. Trying to dig in here, Brent, if you want to dig in the background here, just looking up common stock up to $20 billion. What the hell's the market cap on this thing?
Well, so
I guess they're buying Ethereum with it. So this is what they do, right? So they just they're doing the whole micro strategy.
Yeah.
So a $6 billion company doing a $20 billion offering.
Well, so kind of an interesting thought here. Hasn't this offering into cryptocurrency theme that we've seen emerge over the last month or two, it kind of has changed what it means to do an offering in the market. Investors have to understand this a little bit differently. And I think some of your surprise here, Dennis, at the size of this offering is an expression of that. These companies are doing big offerings, they're raising money through the open markets, and then they're just dumping it right back into crypto. It kind of just changes what we thought an offering 4 or 5 years ago is different because of cryptocurrency players now. It's really interesting.
Well, it's definitely
it's not insane that we have everyone just doing the same damn strategy again. This is the most simplistic business model that ever existed. We are going to just form a company, and we're going to do offerings to raise cash and buy Bitcoin. It's what does Michael Saylor do with all his time? If that is all you're doing, I mean, you're not even selling anything and worrying about business. I'm sure they sell something, but it's minor. I mean, it's the smartest business model ever if people fall for it. I mean, it's the smartest business model ever. Just sit back on your island. Well, we'll just do an offering. Now I'll do nothing for the next 2 months. Now I'll do an offering and buy Bitcoin. I mean, this is, and obviously, we got Tommy Lee coming in here and doing the same thing with Ethereum here now and BitMine Immersions. I mean, and we got GameStop. Ryan Cohen's going to do the same thing over there. Trump DJT is going to do the same thing over there. I mean, I don't have the need for any of these damn things. Why don't you just buy the Ethereum yourself? but it's something to trade, and they all get hype and they all go. But I tell you, this kind of things makes me feel like we are in a great big bubble, and eventually it's just going to pop. Now, not shorting stocks because you're in the full run of it,
Yeah.
But I mean, you always got to have one finger ready on the sell button here because a lot of this stuff is going to end in tears.
I just don't know what, I mean, you could keep saying that, but
it keeps going.
Yeah.
But you want to know something? Take you back here. 1996, 1997, when I started getting into stocks, 1998. How many people were saying these internet stocks, these things are all going to pop? These internet stocks, this is all going to end ugly. 1998, this is all going to end awful. NASDAQ, 1,000, just no business. Goes 1999, goes to 5,000. The whole freaking index goes up like 200% in 2 years. And everybody's like, nothing makes sense. You know what? It didn't make sense. None of it did make sense, but you were wrong for a long time, 96, 97, 98, 99, until 2000 March when they pulled the rug, and then the NASDAQ fell 81% back down to 1,100. That's, where we are, is like, how do we know how far we are on Ridiculousville? And, we see signs of it, but then you see other stocks like, it's not like the whole market's in a bubble. Back in 2000, everything was in a bubble. Walmart, for crying out loud, was trading 70 times earnings. I mean, we just got stupid. But we're not at that because there's lots of stocks that trade reasonable valuations. And I mean, I don't know, like just taking this money, buying into crypto. I mean, Bitcoin in itself, I guess it's digital gold. But, other than that, I mean, I don't see anybody, like I don't go to my store and see people transacting. That'll be 0.0001 Bitcoin for your burger. It's just not even practical because it's like, oh, I got the decimal point wrong and I didn't pay, 0.0001. I paid 0.001. Some, kid doing the thing. We're not going to transact in Bitcoin. So that ship has sailed. So, I mean, really, it's just all about FOMO. Bitcoin is FOMO. It's fear of missing out. That's all it's driving it. It's all FOMO. There's really, not a hell of a lot of utility. Maybe in other countries where the currencies are all messed up, but I do not anticipate us ever transacting in Bitcoin because it's just not practical unless they do like some splits or something. And I don't know if they're even allowed to do that. Like, it's not practical to try to figure out, okay, I got a $5.99 burger. I'm going to pay in Bitcoin, so it's 0.00001. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. The whole concept is just mind-boggling that there's this much money that's went into really nothingness.
I think that if we
shut everyone up today, nobody's counterpoints here. No, bro.
Just mic drop moment, Dennis. I think that a little bit of to take it into the realm of a little bit of trading idea here. I think what's happening, what I've been seeing over the last month or so, is these companies talk about FOMO. These companies are looking to claim their crypto in this way. They're doing offerings. We had Bitmine, which is Ethereum. We had a company a couple days ago, maybe last week, that was kind of putting their flag in the ground for Ripple, and they're going to be the Ripple. They're going to be the Ripple play. So yes, this has been going on for a little while. There's still a lot of cryptocurrencies out there that publicly traded companies could go and stake their claim in. And now we're going to have, who knows, maybe we're going to have 30 or 40 or 50 of these names on the NASDAQ or the NYSE who retail investors, institutions for that matter, can go to and put their flag in the ground as a publicly traded crypto company.
Why are they going to stop? They're not going to stop. I mean, we're going to get a gazillion of these companies doing that. It's the most simplistic business model, and people getting filthy rich doing it. Like I keep saying, we keep saying SDN, we just can the whole network here and just go launch a coin here, or just go and say, hey, we're just going to take money and we're buying Bitcoin. And then we don't even have to work. We don't have to do anything. No podcasting, no hiring people, just simplistic. Hire a couple lawyers, to make sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and an accountant, to add up all the money that we're bringing in, because this is where it's at. This is the most simplistic model ever. And I know the crypto people absolutely hate me talking like this. They are getting mad in the chat, certain ones that, I'm saying, oh, we're not going to transact. They were telling me I was going to transact in Bitcoin 10 years ago. Nobody's transacting. Satoshis. Okay, let's go do Satoshi. That'll be 22 Satoshis. We're not doing it. Wake up. It isn't happening. So the whole point is it's FOMO. Digital gold has an argument. The digital gold thing has an argument. I'm long with you, man. I'm long Bitcoin too. So why? Because everybody else is, and I have FOMO too. That's the only reason. But it's not because I think, oh, Bitcoin has, it's going to take over the whole world here, and crypto is going to take over the whole world. And I see all these companies doing these offerings, and people just throwing money at them. We got to get a Bitcoin immersion. We got to buy. They're buying. What do they do? Well, they're buying Ethereum, man. Nobody else can do this. No, they can. Everybody else can do it. Get a Coinbase account. You can do it tomorrow, and you don't have to pay the freaking premiums here. The whole thing's stupid. Bottom line, the whole thing's stupid. But you know what? Stupid markets go on for a long time. So why fake it?
It's going to work perfectly as long as no one ever sells. Right?
But they be selling it. People buy the dip. There's so much freaking FOMO out there right now, Joel. We have a crypto president. We have a president that's all for this. He's got his own crypto fund. He's going to do the same thing too. So I'm not saying there's an imminent, I'm not saying it's happening today or tomorrow. I'm just saying at the end of the day, there's going to be a hell of a lot of tears at the end of the day here. Where it is, nobody knows. If somebody tells you, oh, yes, I've got the projection and we're going to have a good, 3 months here, and then it's going to fall off in 2026, people just throwing crap against the wall. Nobody knows anything. Nobody knows the way the stocks are going to go. It's all guessing. Nobody knows anything.
Love that, man. Love that.
Tulips like crazy, Gabe. Tulips, for sure. All these crypto coins are a bunch of tulips, but tulips went from $1 to what, 1,600 or whatever the hell it went to. Nobody thought that was possible. The tulips went way farther. So,
okay.
I'm definitely not. I'm a hodler though. Look, I'm in there. I'm literally talking against my book. I'm long Bitcoin. I have a whole big chunk of Bitcoin. It's been great. It's been one of my best things. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. But
sometimes you gotta.
We're talking sense again. You can't make money using common sense in this market anymore. Earnings miss, stock goes up, earnings beat. Well, we don't like that. It's a value piece of crap. That company makes too much money. We don't want that. We want growth. We don't want a company making a whole pile of money. That's where we're at.
Maybe we should bring tulips back. Maybe we'll do an offering.
Long tulips.
Yep. All right, that's a good way to end the show there, Dennis. Got you fired up. That's what people like to hear. We like different opinions, both sides of the market. We got some people saying, yeah, we love it. Got other people are like, well, what are you talking about? But you know what? That's what makes a market. That what makes pre-market prep the place you should be every morning. We're going to tune out today. Head over to the STN room and see what kind of action we get off the open. Thanks, Beer Guy. Everyone, have a good day.